Lady Parts Theater Company.
Lady parts? Really?
Well, that reaction is the reason we chose the name.
It signifies the wholeness of a person, that we are not just our parts,
And that
or the parts that happen to be on your mind at the time.
And that our hearts and brains make us who we are, not our shapes.
So, big deal, right? What does that matter?
Honestly, it matters every minute of every day.
When you turn on the television,
Or the radio.
Or open a magazine. It's
everywhere. And the work we do strives to bring truth to power.
By focusing on pieces and words by and about women, and utilizing the skills of female artists.
And by working against the not-so-mixed messages we are inundated with every day.
Lady Parts' mission is vast. We delve into a myriad of issues that adversely affect women and girls. We started Lady Parts in an effort to create a safe space to talk about difficult topics. And today, we'd like to talk to you about rape culture.
So, what is rape culture?
Rape culture is an environment where sexual violence against women is normalized. It is an environment where media and popular culture excuse this violence.
Rape culture thrives because we allow the use of misogynistic language.
Because we allow women's bodies to be objectified.
Because we allow sexual violence to be glamorized. And in a rape culture, women's rights and safety are disregarded.
Rape culture affects every woman and every man. Girls are taught from a young age some pretty messed up ideas.
He pulled my hair.
That's because he likes you.
You hear how ridiculous that sounds.
As they grow older, our kids keep hearing that a boy's aggressive or violent behavior is due to him just being a boy.
Wow. Are we really telling our boys that they don't have any control? Are we telling our girls that boys will be boys means
Boys will hurt you if they like you.
Boys will call you names if they like you.
boys will rape you because you did something wrong?
And all of this forces us to believe that we have to teach our girls how to protect themselves.
Don't get drunk.
Don't dress like that.
Don't lead him on.
Don't walk down the street alone. And our boys are listening to all of this talk. They're listening. And what they hear is that if a girl is raped, then it's her fault. Especially if she
Gets drunk,
dresses like that.
leads him on.
walks the streets alone.
And so our boys grow into men who think it's okay to comment on
The size of our breasts.
the size of our bellies,
the size of our bodies, to rate how attractive we are.
To play games where the goal is to have sex with as many girls as possible.
and then to vilify our young women for having any sex at all.
To film or photograph sexual assault and post it on social media.
And our girls,
Our girls believe that their worth is in the size of their breasts.
the size of their bellies,
the size of their bodies. That it's important for them to know how attractive other people find them.
To have sex to please men.
and to judge other women for having sex. How often do we hear words like
Slut.
whore, tramp? Those words come out of women's mouths too. And why? Why do we judge each other so harshly?
Because we're taught that our worth is in our looks, our sexuality, our ability to be pleasing to men.
In rape culture, it is common practice to blame the victim. Why? If we place blame on the victim, then we have nothing to fear, right? Because we would never
Wear a short skirt.
Go out alone.
drink too much.
Boys will be boys, right?
In Steubenville, Ohio, a 16-year-old girl was carried around by her wrists and ankles, filmed, urinated and ejaculated on, and digitally raped. Footage of the attack was posted on the internet. When the verdict came down, social media erupted with the following.
That girl asked for it and wanted it. They gave it to her, no crime.
Yeah, way to go. Now these two guys' lives are ruined.
So you get drunk at a party and two people take advantage of you. That's not rape, you're just a loose, drunk slut.
I'm not saying what they did isn't wrong, but it's not rape. It's the girl's fault.
Everywhere you look, you see examples of gendered violence, degradation of women. Everywhere. Open a magazine, read a headline, watch a movie, turn on the radio.
I hate these blurred lines. I know you want it.
I hate them lines. I know you want it.
I hate them lines. I know you want it.
But you're a good girl. The way you grab me.
Must want to get nasty. Go ahead, get at me.
One thing I ask of you, let me be the one you back that ass up to. Go from Malibu to Paris, boo.
Yeah, I had a bitch, but she ain't as bad as you. So hit me up when you're passing through. I'll give you something big enough to tear your ass into.
Do you like it hurt? Like it hurt? What, you don't like work?
You've heard that song, right? It played over and over and over, sold something like 7 million copies. At the VMAs, Miley Cyrus famously ground her posterior into Robin Thicke's crotch and took the brunt of the criticism. And yet,
why do we objectify women? Because make no mistake, it's not just men that make women sex objects. We self-objectify as well.
It's in the clothes that we wear or are afraid to wear.
it's in every diet, every beauty product.
It's in every pair of underwear emblazoned with the word naughty across the back. Made for children.
Children.
Our culture starts the objectification of our girls almost immediately. And the enculturation of our boys is happening in tandem. Boys are warned.
Boys don't cry.
You run like a girl.
Scream like a girl.
Act like a girl.
Does anybody ever stop to ask?
What's so wrong with being a girl?
Nothing. But what is wrong is that sexual violence against women and girls is rampant.
I was sexually assaulted in college. I didn't report my rape because I didn't think that anyone would believe me. He was a popular athlete. I was a dorky theater major. Everybody knew who he was. Nobody knew me. I found out years later that I was just one of his victims.
Why do we excuse athletes and celebrities as if they're superhuman and somehow more deserving of respect and a good future than the women they abuse?
Chris Brown was arrested for brutally beating Rihanna in 2009. Photos of Rihanna's injuries were leaked to the press by a member of the police, causing a war of words on social media between supporters of both singers. Fans of Brown felt he was being unfairly vilified. Websites glamorized the incident, posting photos of the couple with captions like, "What's romance without tragedy?" and "True love never dies."
In 2009, the Boston Public Health Commission did a survey of 200 teenagers who were asked about Chris Brown and Rihanna. 51% said that Chris Brown was at fault. 46% said Rihanna was to blame. 52% said both were responsible. 52% also said that Chris Brown was being unfairly treated by members of the media.
According to a study recently released in Gender and Society, a top-ranked magazine in gender politics and sociology, teen girls saw everyday harassment and abuse as normal male behavior and as something to endure, ignore, or maneuver around.
They've come to see sexual violence as normal, and they doubted that if anything outside of forcible heterosexual intercourse counted as rape or even a sort of offense.
Our culture has successfully normalized violence against women. The influence of popular media is so strong that it's convinced us that violence against women is not only normal, it's glamorous. Just open a magazine.
Our culture has successfully reduced women to their collective parts.
Our lady parts, if you will.
We're striving to put those parts back together, to be seen as whole women with fully functioning hearts and brains whose bodies can be whatever they are, and it's not going to matter. My breasts are not your concern.
My belly is not your concern.
My body is mine, and if I want to be thin or fat or strong or weak, that's my choice.
If I want to never have sex or have a lot of sex, and who that is with, as long as we're consenting adults, is none of your concern.
Being a woman doesn't make me worth less, and being a man shouldn't make you worth more.
We have to stop treating women as commodities to be bought and sold for their physical attributes. We have to stop telling our boys that they can just be boys and get away with any amount of violence or misogyny.
Not every man will be a perpetrator of sexual assault or violence in his lifetime, and some themselves will be victims. Not every woman will be raped or abused in her life, but 1 in 4 will.
According to RAINN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted.
So, during this talk, 7 sexual assaults have occurred in the United States. That's 30 sexual assaults an hour, 720 sexual assaults a day. That's almost 250,000 sexual assaults a year. 40% of rapes are never reported. 97% of rapists will never spend even a single day in jail.
So let's stop. Change the channel when those songs come on. Don't buy into the idea that a woman's worth is in the size of her jeans or the length of her hair.
Say no to media's depictions of violence against women.
But don't say nothing.
Rape culture will continue unless everyone speaks up.
Rape culture will exist as long as we laugh at rape jokes.
Rape culture will thrive as long as we continue to sexualize our girls.
Teach our girls and women how not to get raped, instead of teaching our boys and men how not to rape.
If you are a witness to violence, speak up.
Violence occurs not just out there, but all too often in our homes. We've created a new play reading series called Ladies in the Living Room, where we share scripts that speak to our mission.
We welcome people into the warmth and safety of our homes, offer them food and drink, and ask them to listen, and then to talk.
To open up discussion.
To learn something about the way they think or feel that might be surprising to them.
To challenge them.
And they share. They leave that living room with new information, a new perspective, and a conversation on their lips.
We've been very lucky to meet with fundraisers who came to see our first production, Exit, Pursued by a Bear, by Lauren Gunderson, which deals with domestic violence. We're currently in talks with them to bring that play to the community as a way of raising money for domestic violence shelters.
Our goal is to do that and much more. Using theater, we are creating educational programming to engage youth, talk about difficult topics, raise awareness, spread the word.
Because we learn by example. It has to start somewhere.
It's up to you.
And you.
And you.
It's up to us.
It's up to all of us.
We're more than our parts.
And we each have a part to play.
Rise up. Come join us in the living room.